There is a lot of controversy about nutrition, and it often seems like people can't agree on anything. But there are a few exceptions to this. After listening to this lecture, you'll be able to identify the top 10 nutrition facts that everyone actually agrees on, well, most experts agree on.
Introduction to nutrition. Of all the topics that have anything to do with health, nutrition seems to be the number one topic that generates the most disagreement. Some people have very strong opinions about certain nutritional aspects, while others' opinions are exactly the opposite. Top 10 nutrition facts. Here are the top 10 nutrition facts that most nutrition experts do agree on. Number 1, added sugar is a disaster. We all know that added sugar is bad. Some think that sugar is simply a matter of empty calories, while others believe it can cause life-threatening diseases. It is definitely true that added sugar, sucrose, and high fructose corn syrup contain empty calories. There are no nutrients in it, and if you eat a lot of sugar, then you're likely to become deficient because you aren't getting enough foods that actually have nutrients in them. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are other, much more serious dangers of sugar that are now reaching mainstream attention. Sugar, mainly due to the high fructose content, is being implicated as a leading cause of obesity, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. The bottom line, added sugar provides empty calories and is believed to be a leading cause of diseases that kill millions of people each year. Number 2, omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats are crucial and most people don't get enough of them. Omega-3 fatty acids are extremely important for proper functioning of the human body. For example, DHA, an omega-3 fatty acid derived from animals, makes up about 40% of the polyunsaturated fats in the brain. Being deficient in omega-3, which is very common by the way, is associated with a lower IQ, depression, various mental disorders, heart disease, and many other serious diseases. There are three main sources of omega-3 fats: ALA from plants mostly, DHA, and EPA from animals. The plant form ALA needs to get transformed into DHA or EPA in order to function correctly in the human body. There is some evidence that this conversion process is ineffective in humans. Therefore, it is best to get omega-3 fats from animal sources, including fish, grass-fed meat, omega-3 enriched eggs, or fish oil. The bottom line, a large part of the population is omega-3 deficient. Avoiding deficiency in these essential fatty acids can help prevent many diseases. Number 3, there is no perfect diet for everyone. We are all unique, and subtle differences in genetics, body type, culture, and environment can affect which type of diet we should eat. Some people do best on a low-carb diet, while others do fine on a vegetarian high-carb diet. The fact is, what works for one person may not work for the next. To figure out what you should do, a little self-experimentation may be needed. Try a few different things until you find something that you enjoy and that you think you can stick to. Different strokes for different folks. Bottom line, the best diet for you is the one you get results with and that you can stick to in the long term. Number 4, artificial trans fats are very unhealthy and should be avoided. Trans fats are also known as partially hydrogenated oils. They're made up by mixing unsaturated fats with hydrogen gas at a high heat to make them resemble saturated fats. This process is actually disgusting, and it's amazing to think that someone thought these fats would be suitable for human consumption. Trans fats raise the bad cholesterol and lower the good cholesterol, cause abdominal obesity, inflammation, and insulin resistance. In the long term, consumption of trans fats raises the risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, depression, and many more diseases. Bottom line, trans fats are chemically processed fats that cause all sorts of damage in the body. You should avoid them like the plague. Number 5, eating vegetables will improve your health. Vegetables are good for you, period. They are rich in vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, and an endless variety of trace nutrients that science has just begun to uncover. In observational studies, eating vegetables is associated with improved health and a lower risk of disease. It's recommended that you eat a variety of vegetables each day. Bottom line, Vegetables are rich in all sorts of nutrients. Eating vegetables each day is associated with improved health and a lower risk of disease. Number 6, it is critical to avoid a vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is a unique vitamin. It actually functions as a steroid hormone in the body. The skin makes vitamin D when it's exposed to ultraviolet rays from the sun. This is how we got most of our daily requirement throughout evolution. However, today a large part of the world is deficient in this critical nutrient. In many places, the sun simply isn't available throughout most of the year. Even where there is sun, people tend to stay inside a lot and use sunscreen when they go out, but sunscreen effectively blocks vitamin D generation in the skin. If you're vitamin D deficient, then you're actually deficient in a major hormone in the body, and a deficiency is associated with many serious diseases, including diabetes, cancer, osteoporosis, and others. The best way to know is to see a doctor and have your blood levels measured. Unfortunately, it is extremely difficult to get enough vitamin D from the diet. If getting more sun is not an option, taking a vitamin D3 supplement or a tablespoon of codfish liver oil each day is the best way to prevent or reverse a deficiency. Bottom line, vitamin D is a crucial hormone in the body and many people are deficient in it. Reversing a deficiency can have powerful health benefits. Number 7, refined carbohydrates are bad for you. There are a lot of different opinions about carbs and fat. Some think fat is the root of all evil, while others believe carbs are the key players in obesity and other chronic diseases. But what pretty much everyone agrees on is that refined carbohydrates are at the very least worse than unrefined or complex carbohydrates. There are some nutrients in high-carb foods like grains that can be beneficial. However, when you process the grains, you remove most of the nutrients, and then there's nothing left but the bad stuff, massive amounts of easily digestible glucose. Eating refined carbs will cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, followed by a surge of insulin in the blood, which triggers fat storage and contributes to insulin resistance in various diseases like obesity and diabetes. I personally don't think that grains are necessary at all. The nutrients in them can be acquired from other healthier and more nutritious foods in greater amounts, but it is very clear that whole grains and unrefined carbohydrates are at least a lot better than their refined processed counterparts. Bottom line, refined carbohydrates like processed grains are unhealthy. They are lacking in nutrients and lead to rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin, which can cause all sorts of problems down the line. Number 8, supplements can never fully replace real foods. Quote-unquote nutritionism is the idea that foods are nothing more than the sum of their individual nutrients. It is a trap that many nutrient enthusiasts tend to fall into, but it's simply not true. Nuts, for example, aren't just shells loaded with omega-6 fatty acids in the same way that fruits aren't just watery bags of fructose. These are real foods with a massive variety of trace nutrients. The vitamins and minerals, the ones you can also get from a cheap multivitamin, are just a part of the total amount of nutrients in foods. Therefore, supplements, at least the supplements we have today, are not able to replace the nutrients you get from real foods. Don't get me wrong, supplements can be beneficial, especially for nutrients that are generally lacking in the diet, like vitamin D and magnesium. But no amount of supplements will ever make up for a bad diet. Bottom line, it is much more important to eat real nutritious foods than to count on supplements to provide the nutrients you need. Number 9, diets don't work. A lifestyle change is necessary. Diets are ineffective. That is a fact. It's estimated that up to 97% of people who lose weight eventually gain it back. Thus, obesity is the top medical condition most resistant to change. Diets may lead to short-term results, but as soon as you start eating junk food again, you'll gain the weight back. And then some. This is called yo-yo dieting and is extremely common. Most people that lose a lot of weight on a diet end up gaining it back whenever they stop the diet. For this reason, the only thing that can give you actual long-term results is to adopt a lifestyle change. Bottom line, adopting a healthy lifestyle is the only way to ensure long-term weight loss and a lifetime of improved health. Number 10, unprocessed food is healthiest. Processed food is typically unhealthy. As the food system has become more industrialized, the health of the population has deteriorated. During food processing, many of the beneficial nutrients in the food are removed. Not only do they remove healthy nutrients like fiber, but they also add other very harmful ingredients like added sugar, trans fats, and refined wheat. Additionally, processed foods are loaded with all sorts of artificial chemicals that have absolutely not been proven safe for long-term human consumption. Basically, processed foods have less of the good stuff and a lot more of the bad stuff. The most important thing you can do to ensure optimal health is to eat real food. If it looks like it was made in a factory, don't eat it. Key points. There's a lot of disagreement in the field of nutrition, but experts agree on a handful of things. Beware of added sugar, artificial trans fats, refined carbohydrates, processed foods, diets, and relying on supplements to give you adequate nutrients. Get plenty of vegetables, omega-3 fats, and vitamin D3. And that's it.